What's going on, guys? BigJerr, Ableton certified trainer, instructor at Icon Collective. And today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about Ableton Live 10's workflow. Specifically, I'd like to get into split stereo panning, the additions to the Metronome, chase MIDI notes, automation, multi-clip editing, and then some general improvements that I think are worth mentioning. All right, let's get into it.
So split stereo pan, what is that? How is that an improvement from what it was before? Well, to understand that, we have to understand what it was before. And I think a lot of people don't even realize this was a thing. So I made a little loop here, and it's just a percussion loop. So I've got some shakers off to one side, and I've got like some little perk bell things off to the other side. Let's kind of listen real fast. Awesome. If I was panning in Ableton Live 9 and prior, well, really what you're doing is just adjusting volume. Okay? So if I was to pan this to the left, well, notice that I'm not getting any of those little perk things off to the other side, right? It's only shakers. And if I go the other way, now I'm getting that perk cowbell thing, but I'm not hearing any shakers. So okay, so this is something that is a little bit weird, right? It's okay if you've got like a mono clip or something like that, but if you've got a true stereo clip and you wanted stuff that was on one side over onto the other side, that was just unable to happen, unless of course you made like a rack with utilities and stuff like that. But now we can right click here. By the way, if I just double click anywhere in Ableton Live 10, it'll just reset the value, which is good. So if I right click this, I can go into select split stereo pan mode. And what this does is this allows us to actually move what's on one side to the other. So if I was to go ahead and do this time and move this over, you'll hear both the cowbell and the shakers now on the left side. And vice versa to the other side. Great. So now we've got a more true stereo situation happening here. Split stereo panning. So the metronome has actually been updated quite a bit. If we go over here to where the metronome is, you can still turn it on and off like usual. And this drop-down menu will include the count-ins as usual, but we have some new stuff as well. So we've got sounds, you've got classic, click, and wood. So classic will be regular, right? Let me just turn it on. Okay, and we can go to click now. And wood. Okay. And also you have different rhythmic values. So normally you have just like pretty regular stuff there, but I could also now speed it up. And also I'll do like, triplet values or whatever. I've got all these subdivisions right inside of here. One thing that I'm really excited about inside of here is the enable only while record function. So while that's on, I'll only hear the metronome while it's recording. So there we go. That's kind of a nice feature. So a really helpful new feature that was added to Ableton Live 10 is chase MIDI notes. So I have a clip right here with a long chord, okay? Just one chord playing a long note. Let's listen to it real fast. Great. So in Ableton Live 9 and prior, if I wanted to audition this from the middle or anywhere else, I would not be able to, because I'd have to launch it from the beginning, launch the clip, launch whatever action I did, and then it would play through. But I wasn't able to audition it from anywhere else if it didn't start from the beginning. But over here under options, I can now click chase MIDI notes, turn that on, and what it does is it allows me to audition this from anywhere in the clip. This is super helpful when doing risers or just when working on something that you don't have to start over in the beginning of the clip. This is a really helpful one. So automation has been improved or updated a lot as well. Let's talk about that. There's no more touch to see situation happening here. So I got that same chord happening, and I got a macro 1 that's assigned to the LFO in here. So if I move it, you might expect to see some, options pop up, but you will not. So as I move that, I don't see anything over here that gives me the option of a couple things to automate or anything, right? So where did it all go? Well, you have to press the A key. So if you hit the letter A, it turns automation mode on, okay? You can also turn automation mode on and off with this little button right here. Okay, so now that we have automation mode on, you'll see the regular stuff that you're used to. Okay, at this point, I can go ahead and start automating if I'd like. So, maybe we'll just, have it like this. Great. Now, I could also do the same thing as I did before by bringing this down, and I could toggle automation mode on and off with A, so I can like hide it or show it. And something worth mentioning is I no longer need to jump back up to the top clip to do any kind of cuts or edits. I could just do it right in the lane that I want, so I could do my edits right down there too. Sweet. One final thing that I will mention is that, let's go back into my automation. I could now make a breakpoint anywhere just by double clicking on any section here. I don't actually have to go and then move it up. One final thing is if I was moving this automation point like up or down, right, and I didn't want it to move, I could hold shift and there it'll move horizontally without moving up or down, so I could hold that value. Let's say I really, I like that 45.45 and I just wanted to move it over. Well, I could hold it, move it over. There's no risk of it moving from the 45.45. A super cool feature that's been updated is multi-clip editing. This is really useful. So let's check out how to use this. So if I just go ahead, I just added a hip hop sub and I've got that same chord kind of thing happening here. And let's say I want to add a bass line in, right? So before I'd have to go back and forth. Well, now I could just go ahead, put a new MIDI clip in, right? And if I select both of them, well, you can see here how I have two different brackets that I could select. So if I go up into the chord bracket, or this greenish aqua one, I can go over here and grab that bass note. I can copy it. I can go into my blue here, which is my hip hop sub, and I could paste it in. And I could drop it down a few octaves, and now, perfect. And we've got our bass note in there. So I can, let's just see if I go back into these guys, click into them. If I go into the bass, the sub, I can go ahead and, write notes into there. And if I click into here, then I can start writing notes into there as well. This is a pretty fast and pretty good way that they've added this multi-clip editing here. I really think this is going to help out a lot as we're, layering instruments and stuff like that. One other thing worth mentioning is that the fold and the audition will now be global. So if I click into here and I turn my fold on, well, it's global across all MIDI clips, not just the ones selected, but across all MIDI clips. Same thing with the audition. That will be global now across all MIDI clips. Some general improvements that are worth mentioning. Ableton Live 10's motion has been improved to 60 frames per second, giving it an overall smoother look and feel. New themes have been added, including a Live 9 version, if you really like the way that looked. But the new ones are really great. I could see them helping out on those 10-hour-long sessions. You can now render to MP3. Also, you can render simultaneously, so you could render WAV and MP3 simultaneously, like 2 at a time. And Ableton Live 10 has been optimized to now close projects 5 to 10 times faster.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Stay tuned to this channel because we got one more for you. All right, see you there.